Now, continuing on with the changeup, I'm going to show you 5 different changeups. But remember that the mechanics are the same as the fastball. Okay? We have to use the same delivery because we don't want the hitter to know that we're throwing a changeup. If we change our delivery, they're going to be able to pick up on it. There's 2 different types of changeups. The first is a snap changeup, and the second is a locked changeup. And what I mean by that is that in the first delivery, you snap the wrist, and we apply a certain type of spin on the ball. In the second, with the locked changeup, we're locking the wrist, and we're pushing the ball or popping the ball out of the hand. Okay? Let's start with 2 of the spin changeups. I use a curve changeup, or what I call a slow curve. The grip we're going to use for the slow curve is the same as the curve. We're just going to use a finger curl or finger tip or the knuckle grip. In this case, I like to use the knuckle grip. Okay? The motion we're going to use is to come through with the same motion, snap the ball around the hip, the same as we do with the regular curve, but we're going to stop the hand, stop the arm against the side. Now, in this case, because we're snapping our wrist, we may have to slow the arm down slightly. Now, we don't want to do it too much because if the batter sees it, she's going to pick up on it and know there's a changeup coming. So what we're going to have to do is go around and slow down slightly at the end and stop the wrist or stop the hand right after we snap. It's going to look something like this. The motion should look fast. It should come through just like a fastball, same speed. But the spin takes over, the snap stops here, and the speed slows down naturally. Now, on the spinning changeups, they can sometimes be more effective because the spin looks deceiving. The hitter sees it, and it makes them think the ball's coming faster than it is. So this curve is going to be effective if we put a lot of spin on the ball. Okay, so slow curve. Another example of a spinning changeup. We're going to grip it across the seams, just like we do our fastball, and we're just going to release the ball by spinning it backwards out of the hand. The back of the hand comes through straight to the catcher. All right, now, I wish I could demonstrate this pitch for you, but I can't do it. So I'm going to do the best I can and show you what parts of the pitch I can. The reason I show this pitch is it sounds very difficult, but I've had a lot of success in teaching the pitch. From this position, we're going to release the ball with the back of our hand coming forward and snapping the ball backwards out of the hand. We're going to put backspin on the pitch. Okay? And it looks like it would be a difficult position to get in, and it sounds like a difficult position to get in. But the pitchers that I've shown this pitch to seem to have a lot of success with it. So again, from this position, snapping it backwards. Okay? To get to that position through the pitch is we have to go overhead and start to turn the arm up in this position, up above the head. And as we bring it down, we're bringing the hand down with the back of our hand down to the ground. So that when we get here, we're ready to snap it backwards. So it's again going to be something like this, okay? My experience with teaching changeups has made me understand that most pitchers can't be really taught a changeups in the same manner that we teach a rise or a curve or even a fastball. The technique is the same, so they already know that. But what happens is I like to show them 4 or 5 different kinds of changeups. And what I've learned through experience is that they generally pick up one of them and are able to do it just like that, or they don't pick it up at all and they can't get it fitted in. And what we like to do is show them as many options as possible. And that's why I want to give you as many things here as possible so that you can show your pitchers a lot of ways to try to throw a changeup. There's a couple of things that we have to have. We have to have the same motion as a fastball. And we have to have a good hard snapping action right at the release point. Those 2 things are going to make the batter think the pitch is coming fast. Okay? Those are the 2 snap changeups that I want to show you. Now let me show you a couple of just basic locked wrist changeups. This is sometimes difficult for some pitchers because now we've worked so hard on teaching them to snap their wrist, now we're telling them not to. So sometimes this is hard. But the first one is going to be just a straight changeup. On the straight changeup, we're going to grip the ball again across the seams like we do the fastball, but now we're going to take our pinky off, we're going to take our thumb off, and we're going to drop the ball into the palm of our hand, gripping it very tight, and this helps us to lock the wrist. From this position, we're going to just pop the ball out of our hand and push it to the catcher. The motion is the same as a fastball. We're going to go around the motion fast, and we're just going to let the ball pop out of our hand at the end. In this case, with all the locking change-ups where we lock the wrist, we've got to make contact with the leg, and we've got to make it hard so that it looks deceiving to the hitter. Again, going through a full motion and pop the ball out of the hand. Okay. The contact of the hand or the arm against the leg is what's going to make it look deceiving and give it the speed that we want, slowing the ball down just enough to make it a good off-speed pitch. Okay. That's the first. That is, I believe, the easiest pitch changeup to teach and to learn. Okay. Another example of a locking changeup, what I call a slow drop. On the slow drop, I like to use one knuckle on the flat surface of the ball as opposed to on the seam, and dig that knuckle in, gripping tight with my thumb and my middle finger. And my ring finger and my pinky are off the ball. When I release this pitch, I bring the side of my hand through first so that my knuckle is pointing at the catcher. And again, my wrist is locked, so as I make contact, I'm just letting the ball pop out of my hand. Okay, so it's going to be, boom, a popping action right there. Okay. Again, the position of the hand at release is a key, because from this position, the ball can roll forward out of the hand, give it the down spin that allows the ball to then drop at the end of the pitch. Okay. Okay, that's the slow drop. The last locked changeup that I want to show you is the knuckle ball. Now, some pitchers can have success with this pitch if they have strong hands, and sometimes have to have big hands. But I've been surprised at the pitchers who have been able to be successful with this pitch. With the knuckle ball, I use 3 knuckles, and I dig my knuckles into the ball and grip tight with my pinky and my thumb, keeping the ball in the palm of my hand. It's important that I grip it very tight. Okay? This helps me keep the wrist locked. From this position, I'm going to pop it up against my leg and push with my fingers as I make contact against my leg. So rather than snapping it, I'm pushing it with my fingers. And the contact is the same moment when I push the ball. Okay. Now, it's important with the knuckle ball that you go full speed and make that good contact, because that is what makes it look deceiving to the batter. A knuckleball can be a little dangerous. It's got a mind of its own. If you're not careful with it, because it takes all the spin off the ball and it tends to float around, it can sometimes float into areas that you don't want it. It takes a lot of time to learn what part of the ball to grip it on and what part of the seams to have and what position in the hand in order to get a little bit of consistency in where the ball moves. It's also going to have an effect on the ball, how the wind is blowing that day. If you're in a heavy climate, if you're in a light air climate, a lot of things can have an effect on the knuckleball because it's not spinning. Once again, gripping it tight, popping it out of the hand. Now, there's several examples for you on change-ups. Try to show as many of those as you can to your pitchers. Give them the opportunity to try them, because usually what will happen is one of them will turn out to be a very successful pitch for your pitchers.